I just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go from Chicago. Up front will be Richie Joplin and rookie Jared Swaim. On the second row, D.P. Riggins and Kenny Passmore, Daryl Klotz and E. Mark Nelson. On the third row, Rod Pontgeter and Gerald Thanos Poole. On the fourth, Kevin Bruner and Gil Guanc round out your top 10. James Lacey starting in 11th. Jeff Oaks starts in 12th. Timothy St. Jean starts in 13th. Mike Burgess in 14th. Derek Schilling starting at 15th. And J.R. Tanksley rounds out the 16-car field. Looks like the field will do a full pace lap here. Gerald Poole did choose to start from the grid or from pit road. All the drivers are rolling now. You and me both, Kevin. Richie Joplin leads him around behind the Porsche pace car. 2.14 miles around this track, 12 turns. Some very tight turns. Most of the turns are 90 degrees. Making things very, very tricky. Not to mention several turns involve coming over a bridge, so the car is already unsettled as it gets into the next turn. Gerald Poole playing some fuel strategy here. Looks like he cannot make it if he does the pace lap. How many of these drivers are we going to see conserving that extra lap of fuel here early? This is going to be an exciting and interesting one. Gerald may have just outsmarted everybody. Everybody slowed through the fountain. Just two more turns. That pace car will make a sharp right out of the final turn. Richie Joplin will be in control. They get back side by side. Stacking back up out of the final turn. Pace car is in. Here we go from Chicago. Green flag is in the air there, down and away at the Chicago Street Circuit. 3 wide into turn 1. Looks like Pontgeter drops back a little bit. That inside line definitely slowed down. Kevin Bruner, James Lacey, Tim St. Jean, J.R. Tanksley all get slowed down through 1 and 2. Richie Joplin and Jared Swaim managed to break away a little bit. DP still closing in at third. Kenny Passmore in fourth. Daryl Klotz in fifth. Jeff Oaks already up 4 spots into 8th place. Derek Schilling on the move, also already up 2 spots into 13th. Gerald Poole is out on track after starting on pit road and closing in. As there's a car around, it's Darrell Klotz. Richie Joplin's going to lead them down to the final turn. Oh, a little drifty Richie there out of the final turn as he leads the first lap here at Chicago. Let's see what happened with Klotz. Down that long straightaway into the 90-degree left-hander. Too much power. It is extremely slick right there, and you put the power down too hard, you're going to end up smacking the wall. Richie Joplin has had a problem in the lead. There's Richie off into turn number 1. Swaim right on his bumper. Oh! Swaim gets into turn 2 a little too hard. Turns Richie around. Everybody manages to avoid him, but Richie's engine is gone. Richie trying to limp the car to pit road. Jared Swaim, meanwhile, out front. Kenny Passmore managed to pick up second. DP Riggins now into third. Mark Nelson in fourth. Don't look now. Jeff Oaks up to fifth place. Oaks started back in 12th. Man, what a march he has had. Oaks looking to the inside on Mark Nelson through turn 1 and takes it quickly. Mark back to 5th. Oaks has the fastest lap so far. Also on the move, Derek Schilling is already up 6 spots. Mike Burgess has come to pit road. This is a bit early. Is this a fuel stop? Does not look like any damage to the car. Richie Joplin finally makes it in. Burgess topping off. He is away. Thankfully, this is one of the few home motorsports races that the drivers do have a fast repair available. So Richie Joplin will be able to get back out. He has to hurry to get back out. He is back on track. Richie is back out on track, and now a lot of ground to make up. Meanwhile, Jared out front by 3.2 seconds over Kenny Passmore. DP Riggins in third, Oaks in fourth, is reeling in the top 3. But Mark Nelson is not letting him get very far ahead. Stays right with Oaks. Gil Guac now in 5th. Hot Gear comes by and takes 6th place. Gil Guac now in 7th. Derek Schilling up to 8th. Bruner in 9th. James Lacey in 10th as Mike Burgess has had a problem back behind. Mike coming over the bridge. Down into that 90-degree. Oh! Been there. You just miss your braking point. You carry a little bit more momentum down the bridge than you realize. It is so easy to miss that braking point. Jared Swaim just set the fastest lap so far. Faster even than Jeff Oaks, and the only driver in the 132s. Kenny Passmore in second as Jeff Oaks battles and takes third from DP Riggins. Mark Nelson currently runs in fifth. Ron Potgieter in sixth. Gil Guac in seventh. Gil has his hands full. Derek Schilling all over the bumper in eighth. Last week's winner, Kevin Bruner in ninth. Gil Guac is around. There's Gil coming out of turn number one. Schilling right on the bumper as they go into turn two. Oh, looks like just too much rear brake. He stomps on it. The back end completely steps out. He has to wait for traffic to clear to get the car around to going. Swaim continuing to extend his lead, down 5 1/4 seconds, but Jeff Oaks right on Kenny Passmore's bumper. Can Oaks reel him in? Mike Burgess has had a couple of problems back behind. Mike there back behind Richie Joplin as he heads off toward turn one. On the brakes hard, but the car wouldn't steer, gets into the outside wall. And then a few moments later, Mike obviously heavily damaged. Tries to get the car loaded up, turned in, and another hard hit into the tire wall. Jeff Oaks still sitting in third, looking back through the field. Schilling now up into seventh, reeling in Rod Potgieter. Gerald Thanos Poole, who started from pit road, now up to 11th place, and Richie Joplin, after leading early, lost some ground, just set the fastest lap of the night. 1:32.30, one of only two drivers in the 1:32 range. And well over a tenth of a second faster than Jared Swaim. Jared cannot afford to make any mistake here tonight. Jeff Oaks fought his way up 9 spots into third, but has not been able to get around Passmore just yet. He is still right there with him. Gil Guac, despite his early incident, still holds on to 9th. Tim St. Jean already up 3 spots into the top 10. Oh no, we've got Gil Guac around again out of 2. Gil Guac was loose coming out of turn 1, had trouble getting the power down. And same spot, same situation as last time. Hard on the gas, almost gets it perfectly turned around and tows it to pit road. Jared Swaim, meanwhile, continues to extend his lead 7.5 seconds over Kenny Passmore, Jeff Oakes, and DP Riggins. Mark Nelson currently runs in 5th. Derek Schilling up to 6th, trying to close the gap. Schilling already up 9 spots. Rod Potgieter in 7th, Kevin Bruner in 8th, Tim St. Jean in 9th. Mike Burgess still sits on pit road. It appears Gil Guac is out of the race. J.R. Tanksley now up into 14th. Looks like JR may be having some connection problems again tonight. Since taking the lead, Swaim has run away from the field. The battle is still on for second place. Mark Nelson is back in 5th, trying to close back in on Kenny, Jeff, and DP. Derek Schilling up 9 spots into 6th, has pulled away from Potgieter, Bruner, and Klotz. Tim St. Jean still holds 10th. Gerald Thanos Poole in 11th. Gerald is closing the gap on Tim. And remember, Gerald started from pit road. He will not need any fuel, and he won't need to conserve any. But Richie Joplin up to 12th after that early problem that knocked him out of the lead, the bump from Swaim. He limped the car back to pit road, got it fixed, got back out, and is on fire. Richie tries to make the move to the outside, gets the wall. He is still fighting. Now Richie's going to go to the inside, quickly makes it look like Gerald kissed the wall. Richie Joplin now to 11th, sets his sights on Tim St. Jean. Jared Swaim may be running away with this one, but the battles back behind are non-stop. Darrell Klotz, who had the problems early on, has fought back up to 9th place, trying to reel in Kevin Bruner in 8th. DP Riggins still sits on the bumper of Jeff Oakes. Jeff still within striking distance of Passmore. Mark Nelson, though, back in 5th, losing ground to the top 4. Unusual to see Mark so far behind on a road course. Ten laps to go. Jared Swaim putting cars a lap down, just went around 13th place. James Lacey. Gerald Poole sits in 12th, will be the next car. But a long way to go for Swaim to catch him. Swaim's lead almost 10 seconds now over Kenny Passmore. Whoa, Derek Schilling, the rear tire starting to go away. We have seen that bite a couple of drivers through 1 and 2 tonight. Definitely getting hard to put the power down out here. The track temperature has come down, but only 1 degree. The track temp has been 120 degrees all day long. Now down to 119, not a big difference, not a ton of grip. DP Riggins has taken 3rd place back from Jeff Oaks. Meanwhile, Richie Joplin still on the attack. Richie now up in the 9th. He is 20.2 seconds behind Bruner. Jared Swaim's lead continuing to grow. Kenny in 2nd has no answer for the leader. DP Riggins got back by Jeff Oaks a lap ago, but can he hold him off? And let's keep an eye on Jeff Oaks. He has a tendency to have a completely different driving style than everybody else on the road courses. However, on a street circuit with the walls out there, I don't know if he can fully utilize his driving style. But he definitely has no problems with the rear tires slipping. As we saw at Circuit of the Americas last season, he just drifts the car through the turns. But it doesn't look like Oaks is drifting it on the street circuit. Not enough room to slide it out. Mark Nelson definitely drifted it out of 2 that time. Jared Swaim's lead now 11.5 seconds over Passmore. DP Riggins closing back in on Kenny. Jeff Oaks has had a problem. He's got the car rolling again, but it's slow. Mark Nelson Oaks is having big problems. See what happened to Jeff as he runs behind DP. Oh, he slides it into the turn, smacks the tire wall. He's able to get back on the power and get it going again, but the loss of momentum seems to have been catastrophic. Jeff Oaks now back into 5th. Mark Nelson up to 4th place. And Richie Joplin has cut the gap to Kevin Bruner almost in half. Last time we looked at Richie about a lap and a half ago, he was 20 seconds behind. Now he is 10.6 seconds behind. It looked like in practice and in qualifying, Richie might be hard to beat. Here tonight, that bump from Jared Swaim in turn 2 sent him backwards. But Richie never gives up. He has fought back. Jared still growing that lead. Kenny Passmore and DP second and third. Mark Nelson not gaining any ground on him. Jeff Oakes is settled into fifth. Richie Joplin may have started blinking. It appears Richie may have a connection problem. Richie appears to have lost connection. A heartbreaking night for Richie. As the leader goes by Gerald Thanos Poole. Gerald currently in 11th, now a lap down. Now the question becomes, do the leaders have enough fuel, or will they have to make a stop for a splash of gas? 5 laps to go for Jared Swaim. Kenny Passmore in second, DP Riggins in third, Mark Nelson in fourth, Jeff Oakes in fifth, Derek Schilling now in sixth, Ron Podgeter in seventh. Kevin Bruner holds on. Bruner holds on to eighth, Daryl Klotz in ninth. And Tim St. Jean in 10th. Richie, that was definitely a heartbreaking night for you, buddy. And Richie, you definitely had one heck of a comeback run going. Mark Nelson now in fourth, keeping Oakes back behind him. DP in third place, still in the back bumper of Kenny Passmore. And Jared Swaim way out front. If he has to stop for fuel, he has an 11, almost 12-second lead. DP definitely trying to find somewhere he can make the move on Kenny. Kenny driving in the mirror. Most of the rest of the field spread out. Darrell Klotz has had a problem. He is in the wall. As the leader comes by, that is close. Klotz had a problem earlier on. He comes through the fountain turn. Down into the penultimate corner, just on the brakes, locks him up, slides it into the tire wall. There's the leader coming back by. Klotz able to get out of the way quickly. Klotz is on pit road for his repairs as the leader goes by. Kenny Passmore and DP Riggins still nose to tail. Mark Nelson in fourth, Jeff Oakes in fifth. And Derek Schilling has had a problem. He is still going. Let's see what happened. There he comes across the start-finish line toward turn one. We have seen turn one bite numerous drivers on the brake, smacks the tire wall, but bounces off and keeps rolling. Great save by Schilling. Jared Swaim still way out front. Passmore and Riggins still battle for second and third. Mark Nelson in fourth. Richie Joplin has come back out on track, but he is in 14th. Jeff Oakes back in fifth. Derek Schilling still holds on to sixth. With that big from the back challenge, he is up 9 cars tonight. And Derek Schilling is on pit road, likely a splash of gas needed here. Rock Potgieter coming by, Bruner coming by as well. Schilling is back off of pit road as here comes Jared Swaim through the final turn. Barney the flagman waves the white flag one more time around for Jared Swaim. He has dominated the race here tonight. Kenny Passmore is on pit road. DP now to second. Do they have enough fuel, and how big of a shakeup are we going to see? Mark Nelson in third did not come in. Do the top three have the fuel to make it to the end? Jared Swaim has slowed down dramatically. His lead only 6.7 seconds over DP. DP reeling him in. He is not conserving anything. Just a few more turns for Jared Swaim. Can he make it to the finish. And the top three have had a big shakeup as Mark Nelson has had a problem. He is still rolling in third place. Tim St. Jean involved. And through the final turn, Jared Swaim will dominate here at the Chicago Street Circuit. Jared Swaim gets his first win in home motorsports. DP Riggins comes home a very close second place. And Mark Nelson will come on third. Let's see what happened on the last lap. Tim coming through the turn and over the bridge down toward the right-hander. Mark just, Tim gets on the brakes, spins around. Mark has to stop but sneaks by. Tim does get the car recovered after traffic passes, but lost a lot of ground. And let's see if we can get a word with our top three, starting with the Mark Nelson. Mark, you managed to make the podium, but it looked like you were conserving fuel quite a bit.
No, Doug, I was just slow.
Well,
yeah, it worked, right? Like I was kind of going at 100%, but I had the goal from the very beginning that I was just gonna be consistent and careful, and maybe some people in front of me would have some issues, and as it would have it, 3 of them did.
Well, it definitely worked out in your favor tonight. You come home with another podium.
Yeah, that's great. And hello to you too, Doug. I didn't get to say hello last week.
Well, great job, buddy.
Thanks, Doug.
Mark Nelson comes home in third. DP Riggins in second. DP, honestly, another lap, I think you would have caught him. DP, you got me?
I got you.
I think another lap you might have caught him. It looked like he was running out of fuel.
Yeah, I spent most of the race short shifting myself. I just try to keep myself in position and keep the leaders right out in my reach, and hope to God and prayed the whole time that I just had enough fuel to make it.
Well, it definitely paid off there at the end, man. You come home with a podium, and like I said, another lap, even a longer track, and you might have pulled it off there at the end.
Yeah, I most definitely would have. I still got two laps of fuel left in the tank.
Well, man, you played the fuel strategy better than everybody. We saw several drivers that were able to stretch it, but sounds like you did the best.
Glad to hear that. Thanks for everything you do, Doug, and thanks everybody at the Home Motorsports. Just glad to get a good, clean finish.
Well, great job tonight, buddy. Congrats.
Thank you.
Does not look like our winner, Jared Swaim, available to interview, so huge congratulations to him, and thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Hope y'all had as much fun as we did. Don't forget the HTSAI Community Convoy will be on in just a few moments. Come back and watch, get a laugh. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have a great night, everybody.